Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies. And with the 71st pick in the NFL draft, the Saints finally make everybody happy. They finally stop going into the trenches and they finally go for the skill positions. I know everybody's going to like this one. Running back Kendre Miller from TCU. Obviously a really good player. TCU had a hell of a season playing Georgia in the national championship, obviously getting smacked around in that national championship. But this guy had an absolutely fantastic career at TCU. Finishing with 2,400 total yards, 26 rushing touchdowns. But this past season, his senior season, man, played 14 games, 224 carries, 1,400 yards, 6.2 yards a carry, which was actually his worst yards per carry as a TCU Horned Frog. His freshman year, he averaged 7.2 yards a carry, only on 54 attempts. In his sophomore year, he averaged 7.5 yards a carry on 83 attempts with 7 touchdowns. But averaged 6.2 yards a carry, had 17 touchdowns. That's a really, really productive back. 361 carries in his career. That's not a lot of carries. That's one thing I'll say about this. That's not a lot of carries for a running back in college. We know, backs are coming out of college with 500, 600 carries in their college career. Only 361 attempts. That's really, really good. For Kendre Miller, I really like this pick. I didn't watch him as much just because I wasn't, too in tune with the running backs, especially after we signed Jamal Williams. I just really didn't pay attention to the running backs as much. I'll just give you an example. Bijan Robinson had 539 career carries, at Texas in those 3 seasons. That 3 seasons at TCU, Kendre Miller had 361 carries. 258 carries for Bijan Robinson just this year. That's only in 12 games. If he played 14 games, they might have had, he might have had the same amount of carries in 1 year that Miller had an entire career at TCU. So he's not going to be beat up. He's not going to be bruised. He's not coming in, with 500, 600 carries as a running back, and that's really, really good. So he's going to be fresh. He's also young as well. Getting a running back that's rarely got carries, in college, and he's 20 years old, don't turn 21 until June. So that's really good. Fresh guy, gonna be productive. Was productive in college, and this is big for the Saints because we obviously loaded up on the defensive line with those first 2 picks with Brian and Isaiah Foskey. Now we go to a skill position, the running back, which wasn't a position of need, but that Alvin Kamara suspension is probably pending. It's probably going to happen. It's the NFL. It's the Saints. We know it's going to end up being, 5, 6 games. That's just how this goes. So getting a running back, he's probably going to be backing up Jamal Williams. And maybe he can carve out a role, while Alvin Kamara is gone, because we all know that Alvin Kamara suspension is happening, and we'll see what happens. And injuries will happen. You hate to say it. You don't want it to happen. Knock on wood that everyone's healthy for the entire season, but that's just never going to happen. That running back position, Alvin Kamara is probably going to miss a game or 2. That's just how it goes. Jamal Williams probably going to miss a game or 2. Now you have a reliable backup running back, a real backup running back, not just guys like Dwayne Washington, no disrespect to him, or you bringing in David Johnson or anything like that. You have a guy that can be a running back, and that's really, really good. Really, really productive running back. So 3rd round pick. He's obviously, I'm not going to say obviously going to make the team, but you're expecting a 3rd round pick to make the team. You're expecting him, when he get out on the field, to be productive. I really wish I'd have got to see him play against Georgia in the college football playoffs, but I believe he got hurt in the Michigan game. I remember watching those 2 games. I remember him in the Michigan game. I don't think he played in the Georgia game. If he did, I just might have missed him. Well, they didn't do anything in that game anyway, so obviously I missed him. But I think he was injured. I do remember reading something like that. He got injured in that Georgia game. Obviously, it wasn't nothing severe because he was kind of questionable. Maybe they thought he would play, but he ended up not playing. I think. Don't quote me on that. But I'm ready for the game film breakdown on him, man. It's so much easier, so much more fun, obviously, when you get a running back, a receiver, a cornerback, and you get to do game film breakdown. Just a little, more exciting than the defensive end, defensive tackles, the offensive lineman. So this one's definitely going to be fun, a fun pick, a guy that's run for a lot of yards and ran for a lot of touchdowns. I just pulled up his game log just to see, what his season was looking like. First game, they probably blew Colorado out, 8 carries, 52 yards, 1 touchdown. Next game, Tarleton State, I'm assuming they blew them out. 56 yards, 1 touchdown. SMU, 142 yards, 1 touchdown. Oklahoma, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kansas, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. It's going to be a common theme with these touchdowns. I'll tell you that right now. Oklahoma State, 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kansas State, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. West Virginia, 120 yards, 1 touchdown. Texas Tech, 158 yards, 1 touchdown. Texas, 138 yards, 1 touchdown. Baylor, 41 yards, 1 touchdown. Iowa State, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kansas State, 82 yards, 1 touchdown. He had a touchdown every game. He played 14 games. Had 17 touchdowns. Didn't score in that Michigan game in the college football playoffs because he was hurt. And I mean the least amount of yards per carry in any one of these games was 4.1. That was against Baylor, who's Dave Aranda-led defense, the old LSU defensive coordinator. Don't know if he can catch the ball out the backfield. Only had 16 catches this past season. I know Max Duggan liked to pull it down and run, so maybe he just wasn't hitting the check down. But when we watch the film, we'll take a look at that. But I can't wait to watch his film. I don't even know what type of back he is. I don't know if he's an explosive back, a fast back, a guy that's just going to run people over. I'm not going to sit here and pretend. That's one thing with me. Hey, I keep it real. I'm going to tell you how it is. I did not watch a lot of them. I watched a couple TCU games. I do remember him back there, but I just don't remember, off the top of my head what kind of player he is. I just know the production is there, the talent's there, and we'll see what we got in him. I know a lot of y'all been crying for a skill position, receivers, running backs, cornerbacks, or something like that. Look, we finally got us one. We got a running back. If you know something about him, hey, let me know in the comments below what y'all seen on him. You're a TCU fan by chance and you're watching this, let me know in the comments what you think on Kendre Miller. Hey, I like to pick. We got a defensive tackle. We got a defensive end. Now we got a running back. I would like a guard. I would like a receiver. That would be the perfect draft for me. Maybe if you take a quarterback super late, take a flyer on a guy that you think, can be a 2 or 3 year project. Just put him on the practice squad, let him play some preseason. Obviously never going to be a threat to play this season, but hey, you could take a risk on somebody. But what else I would like in the draft and in the later rounds, definitely an offensive guard. Definitely going to need one of those. A receiver would be nice. And after that, the sky's the limit. Take who you want. Just take the best player available. Get crazy. Pick who you want. I went back and looked at some mocks, look at some rankings. I've seen people with Kendre Miller as high as number 3, as the 3rd best running back on their board. I see him as low as 7 or 8. I see he skipped the combine. He didn't run. He didn't do some things. I checked for pro day results. Didn't get that either. So is he still injured? Don't know. Like I said, I'm still doing research, man. This is a live reaction. I don't know. I'm going to assume he's not injured. I'm going to just assume he just didn't want to, do the pro day thing. Sometimes it can hurt you. I think that hurt Michael Mayer, that tight end from Notre Dame. I think he ran the combine. He ran slow, and he fell out the first round. So maybe he said, hey, I'm not a tester. I'm not going to run fast in it. I'm a gamer. I have game speed. Or maybe he's hurt. I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments below. But I do like this pick. A running back, we're going to need one, obviously, because Alvin Kamara is going to get suspended. I think he's going to get 5 or 6 games. You don't want to throw all that at Jamal Williams because you still want to keep him fresh as well. So now you got Kendre Miller to join the party. Now we got a three-headed monster at running back. Maybe we can take some pressure off Taysom Hill running the ball, because he was our best running back at points last year. So now we got basically 4 guys that can run the ball very, very well. That also takes pressure off their car, because sometimes, hey, the best thing a quarterback can do is just hand the ball off. We'll see how good he is when I watch the tape, man. But thank y'all for tuning in once again. It's the Boo Tragedies, and I'm out.